Greetings, geeks. This is episode 479 of Geeks in Space. I'm Rob Commander Taco, and we got some shit to do, so let's get started. Let's say hello to Chris DeBona.
Hi, everybody.
And Rob Roseboom.
Hi.
How is everybody doing today?
You know.
You survived the DMV.
I did. It was very exciting. Well, it wasn't very exciting, but it was very interesting. So normally I would go to the DMV. I would show up like an hour before it opens and just stand around like a mook. And then boom, you're done in like 20 minutes, right? So that's the California DMV way. If you don't have an appointment. If you have an appointment, you actually end up waiting 20 to 30 minutes anyway. So whatever. Okay. So in a time of COVID, there are no appointments. And so I showed up about 45 minutes before the Santa Clara branch opened, but it was shut down because the day before they had a COVID thing. So I was like, okay, I'll go to the San Jose one, which is 8 miles away. So I go to the San Jose one, and it was, people were lining up. And I'm like, you know what? This may not happen. I have an appointment at 10 o'clock. It's 8:30. 7:30. This thing opens at 8. There's no way I'm going to make it out of here. We'll see. I'm going to be optimistic, but not disappointed. So as I'm standing in line, there's a bunch of people milling about like, is this the right line? I'm like I the fuck know.
Stay 6 feet away.
Like, yeah, exactly. And this one gal walked by. She was wearing a red sweatshirt, no mask, face tattoo with a dude's name on it. And I'm like, kind of methy, if I were to be honest. She wasn't presenting physically. Not that I'm being judgmental, but she
had a meth vibe.
In great shape. She had a methy vibe. I used to live outside the Central Valley of California. I know what it looks like. Anyway, so she walks by and she's like, turns out she was super prepared though. She made a mask out of her sweatshirt. She had the printouts from the online site. So I'm like, maybe I misjudged the methy gal. Just saying. And she got in before me. I mean, to be realistic, it's like they pulled her. She was ahead of me in line and went in before me and left before me. I mean, meth people get things done, I guess, is what I'm learning. Anyway, so yeah, there were a couple of fights in the line, but I'm here to do my car, and they're like, yeah, but you didn't do any of the work online, and you may not be able to be helped today. And they're like, but that's not fair. I've been waiting here for like 10 minutes. And they're like, there's a pandemic, right? Yeah. So it was good times, and and I know this is an unpopular thing to say, but California DMV people, they've always been super nice. I mean, they're totally overworked. There's tons of lines. Yeah. There's lots of bitchy people, but they're super nice, And like I was standing at window 2, as one does, and at window 4 was what I have to describe as a Karen asking a woman all these like, well, I think I should speak with your supervisor. Although she wasn't Southern. I'm just going to go with it. I'm going to speak with your supervisor. And she's like, ma'am, my supervisor is over there working. There's no chance you're going to talk to him. She's like, I just need you to have this and this and this. She's like, well, I don't understand why I need to have those things. I was not told that I need to have those things. And she's like, it was on the website and I really want to help you. It's just going to take a little while longer. She's like, well, I have to tell you, this is my worst visit to the DMV ever. And she's like, isn't this your first license? She's like, well, yes. And she's like,
it's all down here from here, lady.
And she's just like, oh my God.
It could be her worst and her best. I mean, technically that's true, right?
I want to speak to your manager, Mr. Roseboom. You are countering my narrative.
Do you declare?
I do declare. All
right.
Bless his heart. Don't you guys have like kiosks where you can just do all that stuff?
So we do. And there was one active at this little substation. But because the fact of the matter is, sorry, go ahead.
They shut the kiosks down here because they're all touchscreen.
Because they have to clean them up. Yeah. To be fair.
To be fair,
that is not a bad idea.
I've never had a problem at our local DMV, but I will say the Maryland equivalent was a freaking all-day nightmare.
Oh yeah, so same with Virginia when I lived out there. It was just like going to the DMV. You bring a porta potty.
Yeah.
It's bad. And then there's always those LaRouche whack jobs in front of the Virginia DMV. Lyndon LaRouche was a fringe political party candidate who would go around saying like the Queen and the Trilateral Commission were working with nuclear power to something Jewish people,
Checks out.
something Rockefellers.
Checks out.
So, and they'd be like out front saying, "Have you heard about Lyndon LaRouche?"
Awesome.
And you're like, I'm just gonna grab my porta potty and go, buddy. So
I'm gonna pee on my bucket of Bibles and sit in line.
they had their own Bible. I mean, they're pretty cringy.
You know what would calm you down though after all the stress of waiting in line at the DMV? Swimming with robot dolphins.
Yes.
Wait, was there a robot dolphin story that I didn't see?
Did you miss the robot dolphin story?
Hyper realistic robot dolphins.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's in there. Oops.
Yeah, it's exactly what you would expect, except they cost millions of dollars.
Oh man.
I mean, I'm sure
the
they'll
thing
come
about
down
dolphins-
in price when they reach mass production and are universally adopted, like the Segway, and totally change SeaWorlds everywhere.
Okay, so here's the
You
thing.
should probably scroll down so we don't see the little picture of the man who controls a robot.
Yep, I meant to mention that there's a dude with a butt on that page.
Are you saying we're not going to talk about that? Wait, YouTube removed videos of robots fighting, calling an animal. No, YouTube. I'm going to have to file a bug. So
Robot dolphins,
yeah,
man.
this is quite an article. So okay, can I mention something? I really like dolphins. I think they're really cool, and they seem really friendly.
Do you like
there's a
dolphins
dolphin
in the
bay.
same way that you like tigers and how you like to give money to Tiger Kings?
Listen, it was just the one time to Carol Bath, and I got some postcards, and it was totally legit. All right,
She told you so.
Florida, Tampa
I also-
Big Cat Rescue is a solidly cool place where people care about the welfare of those animals. Okay, and I think she had already fed her husband to the animals, so I think it was in her glory period. So
I don't want to throw shade on your love of dolphins, but you do know they're one of the only species that engages in rape, right, Chris?
Yeah.
I mean, they're pretty awful.
if you characterize sex in the wild with some notion of consensuality, it's the whole of nature, man. I mean, I hate to put it. I mean,
No,
are you saying they're smart
it's
enough
different.
to know they're raping?
It's way different. They oftentimes kill female dolphins in rape packs.
It seems like if you're killing
This is
the female
awful.
dolphin, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Sweet dolphins, they're so nice though. They're just fish.
They have a problem when you get a bunch of adolescent
I'm so
males.
disappointed.
I mean, honestly, that's not that
man.
different than humans. You get a bunch of
Well, okay,
adolescent males
so-
together and you got a problem anyway.
Or elephants. They had a
wait a
big
second,
problem
wait a
with that.
Wait a second. So, if dolphins are so horrible, so awful, why do we care if we keep them at SeaWorld?
That's their deserved fate.
Sorry, that's mean, but you know.
I mean, that's how I felt
I
about the
mean,
naked
it's
mole
a
rats.
dolphin jail, right?
No, that's how I feel about the naked mole rats. Like, they deserve this. They're in those horrible tunnels because they eat their babies.
Well, also in addition to sometimes raping their own kind to death, they also quite often kill sharks and will help people who are swimming, who are drowning. So they do some beneficial things. They're just awful. They're just also pretty awful to each other.
I'm
What I'm-
kind of brokenhearted.
What I'm actually more surprised about, though, is that the developers of the robot dolphin chose to program all that in. Like that seemed like really over the top. Like,
Sorry, that's too much. That's just wrong.
Super cool of people swimming in the tank with them.
Yep.
But as soon as you introduce another robot dolphin, it's on.
it's on fight. Everybody stay out of the pool until this is over. Oh, that's horrible.
I'm sorry. I feel bad for everyone involved in this discussion. First of all, also, because here's the thing. I've known a number of roboticists, and I'm picturing like this nerd, and he's like, I'm going to make a robot dolphin. It'll be so cool. And in fact, I've met a robot dolphin maker at the medieval. Oh my God, my mic just shut down. Anyway, so actually, I probably know this person. I probably met this person, and they're probably just like the nicest. Like,
oh, for sure,
I'm gonna make a dolphin robot for the CIA to use in finding submarines. And Russia falls apart. There's no target for this technology anymore. I mean, what are they gonna look for Chinese subs? As if. And so he's like, I guess entertainment's all I got left. It's all I got left, man.
Right, and then so he develops the dolphin that can hug you, and then it all goes wrong.
So, we've seen Terminator,
right? So do you remember the story about the cow and Nunes wanting to sue Twitter over it?
Yes, but I have to fix my microphone.
Then Rob, let's you and I have an uninterrupted conversation. Go!
So it wasn't just the cow. It was also a account that was supposedly his mom. And some fake
mom?
Oh, he did it. Too late. We got to talk faster.
and some Republican strategists. So there were 3 accounts that he was suing.
Yep.
Well, 3 accounts that he had a problem with. He was suing Twitter.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of problems.
I mean, at least he wasn't like getting Twitter to put little blue texts under his messages saying that he's lying.
Like that's been happening.
I mean, not to him.
Right, the Trumpy thing.
Not to him.
The Trumpy thing.
But to other people who historically would have known better.
Well, what's funny about this is there's no end of people who basically have been carrying Donald Trump's water on platforms like Twitter. So like Donald Trump will get upset, and then someone like Devin Nunes will go, look up from licking his boots and say, "Would you like me to sue them, boss?" And he goes, yes, Devin. Yes, Devin. Go sue Twitter for me.
Hold on. Right? I have a couple of important questions. First of all, in this story, Dennis Nunes is a Southern belle, and Donald Trump is Lord Palpatine?
He's Lord Palpatine, but Devin Nunes is like an Igor-like figure going to collect brains for Dr. Frankenstein.
Gotcha.
Right.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
I mean, I'm sorry, I mix my accents up. I'm not good at accents. I only have like one, and it's a Southern belle. So
no, I know that's why Karen the DMV meth head became a Southern belle too. It's weird.
No. Karen and also, can I say my cousin Karen? She's lovely. I feel so bad when people use the word Karen derogatorily. Anyway, but Karen at the DMV was different from the meth head at DMV. The efficient meth head with all of her paperwork who got in and out before me was not the same person as the woman at window 4. I feel like I need to clarify. Otherwise,
I mean, you didn't, but that's cool.
Cow will parody me. So.
We have a friend. Rob and I have a friend, Karen. And I asked her.
I'm sure she's great.
I asked her like a year ago what she thought of the Karen meme, and she hadn't heard of it. And this is before it was mainstream, but I assumed that if you were actually named Karen, that it would like get onto your radar faster. But it did not, and I was disappointed.
Yeah, I think it has something to do with her growing up in Germany. To tell you the truth. Yeah,
that's very fair.
Huh.
So there's an article on there about somebody who figured out how to essentially 3D print Damascus steel, which I just thought was really neat. I always liked. Oh, goodbye, Chris. Quick,
let's talk about Damascus steel.
Damascus steel, quick.
Late.
It's actually just really neat. I've watched a fairly ludicrous number of maker type videos over the years, and yes, of course, I have, like I'm sure both of you, watched people forge blades out of Damascus steel, and it's just super cool. But I mean, that's neat. They printed it. They can print it now. It's essentially just as good. Although I don't think Damascus steel was necessarily like the greatest steel or anything. It was just really good and cool.
It was super good for its time.
Right.
Basically.
And still aesthetically very cool. Although they didn't, I don't think the article had like images of like finished polished blades or anything. Because it's
Yeah,
like
they
that.
show like this little
Yeah.
nub here.
So I mean, technically they have it, but it'd be interesting to see. Like, I want to see that forged out into a blade.
I'm so confused. So they took the laser sintering material and they didn't turn it into a blade. They just turned it into a plug like this.
Yeah. So I think that this is part one.
I hate articles like this. You know, I mean, because here's the thing: if they had just zip, 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 boom, knife, you know, and maybe they have to sharpen it, that would have been wicked cool, right? But having this and then having to go over to your hammer and your forge and go wang, wang, wang for 16 years, I mean, come on, this is not.
I mean, that writer had a deadline, man. He had to get a story out today.
You know, and I get sympathy for these writers, man. A lot of them are losing their jobs. They're trying to like show the clicks, show the page views, but this is disappointing.
You haven't even read the article. For all you know, the video shows it, dude.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it might not, but just saying.
I used to be okay. So
we've all done this crap. We've all done stuff like this. It's what you have to do sometimes.
Damascus steel. So
I think
he's not even inverting his umbrella of words. You know, he's not.
So what do you think about Astroneer, Chris? Instead of dumping on this poor writer.
Well, you know, he's not a very good writer. Okay. Astroneer is the best game ever. So one of the things that you do in Astroneer is you make things and you dig things up out of the ground to make things.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things you've always wanted in Astroneer is more automation so that you didn't have to spend so much time doing manual stuff. So they came out with these automation tools, right? And like they came up with this arm, and the arm picks something up and puts it somewhere else. And
so they turned it into Minecraft?
No, it's its own flavor. It's not Minecraft.
Did they turn it into black and white?
I don't remember how black and white did next.
It did it badly.
It's got a little bit of Factorio though, but I mean, it's a great game, you know. Anyway, so they just show the arms working. It's a super charming game. It's got great animation.
I assume it's PC.
It's both. Yeah, they have it on PS4, I think, too, and the Xbone and the rest. So yeah, I mean, it's just super fun. And I started playing the automation update last night with my son, and we had a great time. So there you go.
If it's on the Wii, or not the Wii, the Switch, the new Nintendo.
I don't know if it is.
That's the only Nunes, platform that my children.
The Devin Cow Nunes Nintendo? Nintendo? Is that what you said?
I don't know what I said. I don't remember 10 seconds ago.
Okay, cool.
We'll have to rewind.
Yeah.
We should definitely have. Oh, I had another thing that I wanted to talk about. I just remembered. Did either of you watch Doom Patrol?
No.
Okay. Well, you should watch the first episode of Doom Patrol.
Was it good? Did you like it?
The second season is I mean, it's all set up, but if you've read the book, the first episode is basically a lot of introduction of Dorothy, which is cool. Although I do feel like Dorothy's a little cuter than I thought she would be from the comic, because in the comic she's portrayed as quite hideous, and both in performance and in makeup, while she looks weird, she still manages to maintain like an innocent cuteness, which I guess maybe I didn't get from the book, and maybe that's because, you know, she's powerful and, you know, really hideous looking. So I found her a lot scarier in the book, maybe, but I don't know. Worth a watch. I had one other thing that I wanted to bring up, and we were talking about this the other night on the boat, about doing a game show. But like literally a game show. Each of us comes to the session with a game, and then everybody else on the call has to play that game basically cold. Like ideally a game you've never heard of or seen before. So you go back and pick something random off of the ColecoVision or something. We each bring a game with like you bring a start state, you know, like you got to get to the title screen, and then 3, 2, 1, go, press start. Everybody else goes, and then there's some pre-agreed upon score or boss to kill. That gives us all an opportunity to see a new game, to play like with weird old technology. And then at the end, we can assign arbitrary points based on liking or hating games. Like I was thinking we'd give a point to the game that we thought was the worst and a point to the game that we thought that was the best. And you get a point for like each person that defeats the score or like that wins the challenge or whatever. And then we pick a theme for the next session, you know, like platformers or 1982 or, you know, like some sort of theme. And then we each go and pick a new game for next week.
So is the idea that like we would play this on like an online Internet Archive style, you know, game archive site, you know, and then
so there's a couple of technical issues. The way that I was sort of envisioning it is that so we're looking at a Google Meet right now, right? One person the person who brought the game, their face remains on the screen to like answer questions because they've played this game for 20 minutes. The other 3 people on the screen have never played this game, so they share their screens, and then the person is watching them play and like commenting on their gameplay. We can talk about what's happening in the game, or like what the game is like, and then that person, the person who's the face for that segment, would then like be responsible for like choosing the winner, essentially for acting as judge. And you could do any number of themes, right? You know, like the first game that you remember from your childhood, or the game, like the game that you thought was bad, or the hardest game, something like that. The hard part I think about that really though is technically speaking, making sure that we all have the game available to us ahead of time without necessarily spoiling too much what the games are, because I think half the fun would be. Chris, if you want to do that, you got to kill the other window because now we're all little tiny in the stream.
Oh, sorry.
But you see, I don't know. It seems like an opportunity to see something fun. Like maybe games are horrible, maybe games are awesome. Maybe we can run them in archive.org windows. Maybe we have to all install an emulator and just have a shared library of 15,000 MAME ROMs. I don't know.
We would never pirate anything, but yes. But then you could present it the way you present the movies during member games.
That's basically what I was. That's basically what I was thinking. But the challenge would be, like it would be easy to do this in like a 2-hour long format and then edit down to like a 10-minute video. The question that I kind of had is, could we do it where each game kind of has like a 5 to 10 minute allotment, and we just do it like we do movie night? So we could just do it in an hour, and then the prep for anybody from watching a movie, it's just watch that movie. The prep for this is probably play 4 or 5 games for 5 or 10 minutes and find one that you think would be entertaining. Has a joke, has a story, has cool graphics, reminds you of a thing. I don't know what the rule would be. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm game to try it out. I think that we will eventually abandon the idea for being too difficult to coordinate.
That's my concern too.
You guys could also do it. You could also do it locally. Honestly, all I do is interrupt you guys anyway. So, I mean, you could do it locally once COVID has passed, or something.
That's true.
Or you could do it like socially distanced in Rob's garage.
Right.
And, like the lone guy.
It sounds very complicated.
Yeah. I'm not sure if technically it becomes practical to because everybody needs to run OBS. Everybody needs to switch between a video capture device and a camera. So that puts a lot of burden on the participants. I don't know. I feel like there's a way, if we could figure out a fun way to do it, it feels like a variation on watching an old movie, but a more interactive one. I thought I had one more item on the zone for the day.
Get in the zone.
The taco zone. But if not, we are up at the...
I posted a thing in the channel about Mixer shutting down. So Mixer is a Twitch-like website that nobody used.
Wasn't that the Microsoft one?
Microsoft.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they paid Ninja and a bunch of other streamers tens of millions of dollars to switch over from Twitch. So of course they pocketed the money, right? And they came over and used Mixer for a little while. And then they, through some weird transaction, it became part of Facebook Gaming, and they sold it. I'm using the word sold in air quotes. They sold it to Facebook, and Facebook then basically shut it down. Said, okay, we're going to keep this running for a month, and then boom, it's over. And so a lot of creators are, pretty upset. And
Yeah, Penny Arcade
The thing-
actually mentioned that this
Oh,
week,
did they have a
too.
thing about it?
Yeah, that was one of their comics on Wednesday.
and while nobody really actually cares about Mixer, I mean, I hate to say it that way, it was not, it wasn't even Vimeo to Twitch's YouTube, right? It was just like this weird thing.
It's
off in the
hard being
corner that
number
Microsoft was
5 in
blowing
a
cash
field,
on.
in a winner-take-all industry.
Well, in an 80-20 industry, even it's hard being number 3 or number 5 because you have sub 1% and nobody really cares.
Right.
And and the thought was that Microsoft was going to tie it into the Xbox like hardcore, right? Because it was their property. And then, I think they just wanted to shut it down, but they didn't want the bad press from shutting something down. And so they asked Facebook, "Hey, you're in the crap with your press anyway. How about we give you $200 million and you take it on and shut it down?" It's sort of my thought. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts about it. So,
I mean, my only thought about it is that it would suck really bad to be the people who early adopted to this platform and got screwed. Like, who cares about like Ninja? They paid him millions of dollars, whatever.
$30 million.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. That guy's fine. He's fine. But it sucks to be like the smaller people who are like, I want to be like Ninja when I grow up. See, I use a yokel. You Southern Belle, I'll go yokel. How about that?
Oh, that's good. Well, the best thing about it is I have to tell you, I went to the Mixer site and I went through their sign up process here. And who was the first person they had on the page? Here, I got to present this. This is hilarious.
I don't know if you'd be able to. I had to turn you off to get you off the grid.
What?
Oh, wow. Okay, I can see. Wow, this is the weirdest layout.
The community is so warm and welcoming. It's a big part of the reason that I came over. That and $30 million, says Ninja.
Did he actually say that? It's too small to read.
No, he didn't say the 30 million. So
yeah, the community. It's nice to have
community.
a community when there's, like 6 of you.
And what have I said? Whenever a big company uses the word community, check your wallet. That's all I got to say.
We have some stories. We're about at the 30-minute mark. You guys want to go about your weekends?
Yeah. Have a great weekend, you guys.
Right? I feel like the sun is out. The chances of us all dying terribly are like
Is
30%?
the sun out, or you just feel like the sun is out?
The metaphorical sun. How about that?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So last night was gorgeous, but today is kind of
It
just.
was.
And I think the dust storm is going to kill us all, right?
For sure.
You have a dust storm coming now?
We all do.
We all do.
Yep.
Check the map of the Atlantic Ocean.
Yep. It's happening.
Oh no.
2020
Is it like
is going to get awesome.
Sahara Death Storm. Death Storm.
Death Storm?
Sahara Death Storm comes
don't-
to Caribbean.
We don't got El Nino to talk about. Those weathermen are getting bored.
Yeah, so every year there's a dust storm that comes off of Africa at this time of year. It just so happens that this year it's a little bit bigger than usual. So
why? This seems like an important story for the Taco Zone. That's all I have to say.
It was only
I only get news about disasters through the Taco Zone.
Well, you are not doing Earth very good.
have you heard about Flint?
Oh
Hey, did they fix their water yet?
no.
Because didn't Elon Musk promise he was going to fix it, and then like a bunch of other rich dudes said they were going to fix it, and then nothing happened like over years?
Elon Musk is too busy putting shiny light bulbs in space.
Or sending CPAP machines to hospitals for COVID patients.
Oh my God.
He's got a lot of important work to do.
Yeah, to not do.
That's right.
To do poorly.
All right. I'm saying goodbye to Chris DeBona.
See ya.
I'm saying goodbye to Rob Roseboom.
Goodbye, everybody.
All right, I'm Rob Commander Taco Malda. This has been episode 479 of Geeks in Space. I hope that you have a great weekend. We'll talk to you guys on Monday.